Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. I hope everyone's having a great day. Yep, we're in Libra season. I don't know, it just always feels a little like I'm trying to find balance in Libra season, right? I mean, Libra is all about the scales and weighing things out, and I don't know why. It kind of seems fitting for this time of year, right? We're about to approach like a new year soon and trying to figure out who we want to get rid of, who we want to like actually invest our time in, where we want to invest our time. Thinking about what's going to happen possibly in the next couple of months to come. And, you always want to balance out your options, right? I just always feel like Libras are a little flaky. And I have friends that are Libra, but I also had an arch enemy that was a Libra. And I'm sorry, it kind of bleeds into like my perception. And I know that it really shouldn't, but. And the irony is I'm right on the cusp of Virgo and Libra, okay? But if I have to pick, I'm a Virgo. I am not a Libra. If anything, I have a lot of Scorpio undertones, you know? So I kind of feel like sometimes if you're born into a zodiac, you have to learn how to master that zodiac. I mean, that's what they say. Anyway, some people say it. I don't know. I think, I mean, we can take into consideration astrology, but a lot has to do with the families that we're born into and the experiences that play out within our life. A lot is karmic, and it may be predetermined. However, there's many different realities that play it at one time. So I don't like to you know, um, just say, hey, this is the reality, because, hey, the reality might keep you in a place of disempowerment, keep you in a place of fear. No one wants that, right? Especially if you already have a spiritual block there where you're like, oh, I'm having trouble like making money, or I'm having trouble like finding a good relationship or attracting the right people into my lives or making the right connections, whatever it is. We already have a fear. We already know. People know when they have a spiritual block. They don't know what is causing it. They don't know how to heal it. And that's what this channel does. It teaches. It's not just about what your person's going to do, what they did do. It's about going deep, deep within why everything's playing out the way that it is, why you're attracting that person into your life. Because guess what? You might not like that person tomorrow. But if you're still holding on to the habits and behaviorisms that were built when you had to live in a compromised environment, and that could be if you were around a narcissist, if you were raised by a narcissist, if you were raised by a sociopath, if you were raised by an alcoholic, if you were raised by any imbalance, the perception is what it is, and we all form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with those perceptions, and they help us and in that time. The problem is they don't help us later. Is what creates that block where it's like I'm stuck in a reality, and that reality is making me lose faith, lose hope. So we have to educate. All right. So it's not just about, again, what we want to know, which is always what the ego wants to know. Are they suffering if they treated us bad? Are they coming back? What are they thinking about? Everybody wants to know that. But to satisfy that part, I always answer. However, again, the readings are much more. So if you're not into shadow readings, this isn't going to be your channel. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel you find in the description box, including my Otter Spirit bracelet links that you guys get 15% off on any purchases under $90 and $30 off, 30% rather off on any purchases $90 and above. So, which is a great deal. These bracelets are genuine crystal. They're really well made. The elastics are really good. And today I decided to wear only some of them. And third eye and heart chakra combined, I mean, but you can mix and match and they have many different combinations. And like I said, I say every video, 15% of the proceeds go to saving the otters. This company got the otters out of extinction, and that's huge to me. Because as we evolve into higher states of consciousness, unfortunately, we're also purging a lot. And there was a lot to be purged, and we don't just suffer the consequences. Our habitat, our animals, and everyone that we're connected to, and everything that we're connected to gets influenced. So that's why what they say, when you heal yourself, you actually help heal the collective. Michael Jackson said it best. If you want to change the world, take a look at yourself and make the change. Something like that. You remember that song. I'm not going to sing it because I can't hold a tune in a bucket. Don't forget to check out my Shadow Healing Coaching Program. Also, if you already signed up and you haven't gotten a link, please reach out to me. While the group is small, we're doing it on Zoom, but we are getting bigger and bigger. So eventually we will be on Facebook. Not Facebook, on YouTube. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. My mind is all over the place. All right, let's see what the underlining energy is. We always want to know what the underlining energy is because it tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. Very important when you're dealing with the person that wears masks and creates facades. Okay, determination. Hmm. Trying to pull one more. Invincibility. Okay, pull another one from another deck. And I like this energy and and disassociation. Well, I believe that you were in separation from someone for a long time. And the thing is that this person's been watching you. And what they see is that you're building momentum, you're making the right connections, things are going to happen for you, and that you're determined that no matter what happens to you, since you've been in separation from this person, I feel like things have happened in your life. Maybe there was a death in your family, or you lost a job, or a family member lost a job. There was some sort of tragedy. This person was not in your life. And I think that they expected that you were going to reach out to them and ask for help, and you never did. So now this person is like, I feel like nervous because they know that they were supposed to what they're supposed to do, but they're seeing you as like, it doesn't matter what happens to you, you're really going to get what you want because your focus is on getting what you want. And this is, for whatever reason, is giving this person a lot of anxiety. For a long time they were disassociated, and disassociated is they knew what happened and they knew how they had to treat you, but they didn't really show any remorse or any caring. So this person is somebody that's very selfish, is what I'm feeling. And now what it is that they're watching you build momentum and within your life, and it's only a matter of time before they're a thing of the past. And I feel like that's why they have anxiety. Now, when they were treating you, when they were around you, how were they treating you? They had a lot of time and money for hobbies and other interests, which they knew that triggered you, and they would purposely do it. I feel like this person wanted you to chase them. They wanted you like to convince them. They were purposely didn't give you that much, which I don't like that because again, that to give you the perception that this person's so important, right? So knowing that you would have expectations of the connection, if you had a strong connection to this person, soulmate is someone that is supposed to give you that emotional stability, and this person purposely didn't. They purposely didn't. And if anything, they were dishonest. They said that they weren't dating anyone else. They said that if they were connected to someone, they said that they were single. They this person like just was full of lies and dishonesty, and you get tired of the deception, and that's the thing. It's like all they did was lie. And when you would want to talk about it, and any time you want to talk about your feelings, excuse me, in a relationship, it creates intimacy, it creates a bond, it creates trust, right? This person, they wouldn't do it. They avoided you every twist and turn. So if you had a problem with them, they'd go ghost. You had a problem with them, they'd stonewall you. So again, like you got punished because you're like, I don't like the way you're treating me. And this person thought that they were gonna, just spend a lot of time and energy with their hobbies and interests and right in front of you. See, this person wanted an attachment, is what I feel like. And an attachment is like when you're like connected to somebody that purposely isn't going to emotionally give you anything, but because they have money, there's a perceived that they are going to give money. So I feel like this person tends to be a very transactional type of person. Like they'll hang out with you, they'll take you to dinner, they'll take you for a few drinks, and then they'll sleep with you and never call you again. So they're very like this transactional, and this person was like, I'm not going to give you anything. I want you to chase me because listen, you weren't giving it up, is what I'm feeling. This person wanted you to. So again, what they did was they gaslighted you. And then they would do things and not apologize. So there was a real lack of respect, a real lack of respect where you're like, okay, I'm just not into this because you saw what it was. This is a one-sided relationship that, again, the avoidance, they do it in very unhealthy ways. So they might drink a little too much, smoke a little pot too much. It's again, they check out so that they don't have to feel they don't have to feel guilty. So they act again very cold, almost like I don't care. So they put this illusion on and gave you the illusion that they don't care. And every time you had something to say, they tried to punish you, thinking that they were going to manipulate you into doing what they wanted, which was really to be in a one-sided relationship, to have an attachment. Again, this person always had like hidden intentions, like you never trusted them because again they were very dishonest and you could never tell when they were, and you just knew that they had lot of love blocks. They got in their own way with a lot of sabotaging energy. You knew that they had feelings for you because you could feel that. But it's again, they were like, oh, you have so many feelings for me. I think I can manipulate this into, getting what I want. And I'm going to treat you the way I treat everybody else that I think is beneath me, to be honest with you, because that's what they were acting like. So all again, just to get very caught up in like this very intense but very confusing type of relationship. So they come in like a whirlwind, creating a lot of drama. So if there's a lot of drama, you're not in a place of being open to receiving and feeling safe where you don't feel safe. You're on guard, like you're always on edge. And there are some people that will actually fight for a relationship like this. This person misjudged you. They thought that you were going to chase and that you were going to fight for the connection with them, like, acting like creating a lot of drama, not giving you anything, and then just watching you like get very emotional and try to make it into what you wanted, but because you would think that it was like a divine union because of that connection. Again, getting caught up in like they wanted you to, they thought that they could charm you into having a fling. So they didn't treat this like a divine union, but they knew that you would because of the type of person that you are. And so they treated you like, well, like like a piece of garbage, where you weren't allowed to establish or communicate your own boundaries. They were very like demanding, and they might not have verbalized the demand, but again, stonewalling you, gaslighting you, being dishonest, all of that to making you not feel safe. They didn't expect you to let go. That's what happens. And so, their pride and the ego gets in the way where it's like, well, I can't control you, so I'm going to check out with my pills or my drinking or my whatever that they do. and always still in that mind of trying to manipulate to get what they want because I don't want to come back and be vulnerable. It's like now I'm going to have to come back and beg. I'm going to have to come back and do something. This person didn't want to do any of that. It's like they just don't. It's like, and the thing is, you're intimidating to this person because you're like, I'm not going to put up with it. That if you try and keep me in a place of lack. It's like because they are in a place of lack, and they do that by keeping the relationship extremely imbalanced, which that's not love when a person wants you to be sad all the time. That's really what it is. It's like this person, it feels inadequate, is what I know. And because they do, they want you to like, conform. And so it's like being in a competition. And that's what it was. Instead of this person like saying, "Oh, this is my person, the divine union," this person was like, "How can I manipulate this to get what I want? Because I don't really want to be in a committed relationship. I'm too lazy to put the effort in. However, I want the physical connection because, hey, that's still there." And so, that's the issue. And as long as you didn't do it, they would just avoid, and they lost a lot of time. And they lost a lot of time because they take constant risks, through their addictions and just, kept thinking that eventually that you were going to cave, and now they wasted a lot of time. So, do I see this person? What do we see them doing? I mean, at this point, it became like a tug of war. That's the problem. That's what this person is. They're all about that, and that's the thing. It's like this person would want you to be like patient and give you all the energies that they've never given anyone before, right? That's what they would do. But it's like when they don't get what they want, they're going to say this is just a fling. However, do they really want to be in a connection? Yeah, they would want to start over. But the problem is that this person, like, just there's always somebody in the back on the back burner. There's always somebody on the back burner. And it's like they don't, whether it's a third party that actually has been giving them, remember, this person doesn't have a problem getting people. They treated you the way that they treat everyone else. They knew that this was a divine union, but they were too lazy to actually do anything about it. Because, hey, what makes them actually think that? Well, they have people in the background that, again, that somebody that is gonna, again, make sure. So, like, that's the thing. This person would be in a one-sided relationship is what I see, where they would want you to keep giving time and keep giving time. But this person is 100% honest. They hide shit. They're not transparent because they're not confident in themselves. If you have to have people on the in the back burner and you're collecting people and using people just so it creates this illusion that you're this important person, that's what they gambled this relationship away on. So they didn't think it was going to happen, but the rose-colored glasses came off for you. And that's the problem. It's like this person thought you were going to crumble. That's what they thought. But the problem is they have too many unhealthy attachments, whether that's a third party, whether that's people on the back burner, that's their addictions, they battle inner demons. So, like, if it's convenient for this person and they can manipulate it, yes, they would go back with you in a heartbeat. However, they would not change. They would still do other people, have other people around, they would still have their addictions. It's like, so you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Because this is a very toxic person. So hurt people, right? We know that. So that's what I know. It's like, and what see here, it was like a lot of wounds. So when you attract a person like that, you have to say why. And so we look at your inner child wound cards, and we're going to pull six, okay, to see. And then we're going to pull transmutation cards because it's not just about integrating, Integrating is learning, seeing how you contributed to the imbalances or why. Because, we're mirrors of whom what comes into our life, but this person was shady and their addiction and they're really on a low vibration. So you have to say, why would I attract that person into my life? I'm nothing like that. I'm a good person. Unfortunately, there's only two energies, love and fear. And fear could just be afraid to try different things or, think that there's something wrong with you because of maybe you have a hard time making money. It could be anything. It's like there's only two energies, love and fear. So when we don't know who we are, we don't strive to find out who we are, then we tend to, attract people that are going to make us eventually want to know who we are. So again, it's not just about integrating the spiritual lesson, it's about transmutation, doing something with that negative energy. You're an energy being. And so when we don't, that energy stays in the body as stress and it affects the chi, the prana. Well, those are also another word for spirit, for God, because God's ubiquitous, it's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscience. So it makes it very hard for that chi to circulate through us, to work through us, and that is really our supernatural power, right? So you want to heal and integrate. So first card out is neglect. Second card out is abuse. Third card out is disassociation. Right. Well, we see actually why you attracted this person into your life. Frustration. I mean, just these cards alone, dance. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five. Yes, I can count. And shame. Well, I mean, these cards, like right here, and I say that because when there's abuse, because of psychological and emotional stress. But this also tells me that there could have also been physical, because the disassociation, it doesn't mean that you don't know what happened. You know what happened, you don't know the severity. You don't remember pieces of it because, again, when you're ignored psychologically and emotionally, you're being told that there's something wrong with you, that there was a shame, and that shame could have been just inheriting family karma, having a nasty parent that was just not in a good mood, was angry all the time, and projected their hurt onto you. Shame is an inherited ancestral karma. So when we're born into shame, a lot of times it wasn't even our fault. We were born into a collective karma that made us live a certain way. We might have lived through a poverty consciousness, had bad relationships. Again, we're born into some sort of trauma, and that trauma was the abuse here. Now, we also know that it doesn't need to be physical abuse, but this is definitely a hand into it because this little kid looks beat up. But what it really says here is the neglect. And so that psychological and emotional abuse is like there's something wrong with you. Like when a parent acts that way to a child and shames them, it makes them feel not loved. And if that parent doesn't give the nurturing and the support where they're neglected, well, then they're also, in their mind, they're saying, well, I'm doing the math and, I'm being talked to a certain way, I'm being treated a certain way, and that parent is also not putting any time in. And anytime you asked for anything, it was shut down, it was repressed, you were told no, you were neglected. So, which here again suggests psychological and emotional to the point that there was a lack of groundedness. To me, dance is all about being grounded, number one, but it also allows you to go with the flow of life. We know that that first and second chakra work so close together. And so, if you don't feel supported, you're like going to live more from a fear-based consciousness right off the bat because you're being conditioned in an environment to not trust the main person that's your caregiver to the point that you detach and disassociate from as a survival mechanism. So life becomes extremely frustrating because when you're always coming from a place of fear, well, we see what we look for. Our habits and our behaviorisms are going to be in alignment with that. So even if we're not in the house, we're going to take those behaviorisms out into the world. And that is what creates shame. when we continually come from place of fear. So if you didn't have enough and you also couldn't ask your parent for anything, well, you're gonna get whatever the resources that you need by any means. That means steal them, take them. You're not really gonna have respect for other people's stuff because hey, you weren't taught that. It's the environment that you live, what they teach you. If your parent neglects you, you're not aware. If parent like children need to be parented, they need to be told, hey, don't use that language. Hey, don't dress that way. Or if whatever you're trying to achieve, let's just say whatever you want to achieve. If you want to achieve, like, hey, I want to be a rock and roll star, the parent would be like, well, then I guess that three-suit blazer isn't going to work for you. It's like a parent guides, doesn't tell the child who they are or or again like what they should think. However, does share and plant the seed, like finds a balance. This is where it was like my way or the highway, and you don't feel safe, and it was abusive. So what happens is you're taught, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not safe. And all those thought patterns, core beliefs bring more shame. And so you would attract a person that's going to, again, try to bring shame to your life because, hey, that's how they perceived you. And they perceived you that way because you gave them too much time, too much energy, and because they're distorted. It's that they have people that are fighting to be in their life because of what they have. So they think who they are, but that's not really who they are. We're not our money, we're not our car, we're not those things. What we are is we're people that need love. So Spirit says, in order to integrate it, now it's time to take bold steps that push you out of your comfort zone. Meaning make new friends, join clubs, invest in yourself, take a trip. It's like find yourself, have a love affair with yourself. It's like that's real growth comes in that because you get to see who you are today. And what helps you do that is when you meet people that don't have any preconceived notions of who they think that you are, right? Spirit says this relationship was only to help you integrate all facets of yourself, to balance the body, mind, and spirit. Obviously, being brought up with a lot of psychological and emotional and possibly even physical abuse for some, well, you would have fragmentation. And that relationship is definitely a sign of it. So now it's time to listen to the whispers of your own soul guiding you. Just align your actions with your values. Make sure that you're always coming from the highest level of consciousness, which is one of unconditional love. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated. We already know you're going to treat other people the way you want to be treated. But when you treat yourself the way that you want to be treated, other people take notice and they see what they can get away with and what they can. And you'll automatically attract people that also do the same. And that because they do the same, they're not going to have a problem doing that for you. Spirit says, take a leap of faith. Again, that's where the rewards are because there's a whole world outside. It's just time now to live authentically and boldly, unafraid to be yourself. Live out loud because you weren't allowed to, clearly. And so you have to do that first when you get to live authentically, loudly, boldly. Well, then you're going to attract the right people into your life and the right situations and experiences, especially when you go out into the unknown, because it's going to help you imagine it. Risks are rewarding. We leave off with one more card, and that is the voice of the heart. Silence the fear in you and discover the voice of your heart. The fruit of these words guides you. Trust the song of your soul. Your intuition leads you on the path to light. So again, voice of your heart, I would say, is through your passions, your hobbies, interests, things that stir up the soul. And it can't be a person. People confuse, oh, love, it needs to be, no. It's you have to do it for yourself. When you become it, you attract exactly what you're supposed to attract. We don't try to rush the process. Spirit says it's about, again, listening to the voice of your own heart. And that's when you silence your fear of saying, oh, I can't do it. I don't have enough. It might not work out. We have to be in a place of faith. And we can stay in a place of faith when we're continually doing what we love, even if we're not really seeing that great of results, because eventually the universe, like, well, the universe loves an underdog and and also loves a stubborn heart. So be true to you. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye bye.